They wanted to name me Wesley first of all, but then for some reason they didn't like the name Wesley. So then they named me William Allen Turin. And I was born, I think, in the back street in Mass here in 1931. Oh, I don't think I really liked school, but you had to go there. Your mother said, you go down there to that school and stay there all day. And then when you went down to school, at dinner time, it was lunchtime, so, you know, I lived all the way up here, you know, almost a mile away. So every noon I had to walk home for dinner and go back again. School, I don't know, there was 26 in my class, and I think I was about the 5th or 6th, you know. And I don't know, in school I did what I had to do. I mean, the main thing in school years ago, you had reading, you had writing, and you had arithmetic. And they didn't have all the extra they have like nowadays. They didn't have much in the towns here. They didn't have much in sports neither. You know, it was basically school, and that was it. So I got to it, but I don't know. What else could I do? When you're that young, you have to go to school. Otherwise, you go in the world, you can't do nothing. He doesn't know nothing. He didn't go to school. A lot of them, they go to school, they still don't know nothing. They just sit there all day. You know, what are you doing in school? What are you taking up? Oh, I'm taking up space. I did finish school, I did graduate, and then from there I went into service, and then in the service, I think it's a good thing for a lot of people if they even had the mandatory draft or all, because they learn to take order, they learn to respect, and then you learn to appreciate the country. So we don't have that anymore in the country. So a lot of the younger generation, they don't appreciate what they have. I mean, it's there, and they figure that, you know, we gotta have it, and you know, but you have to work for it. You just don't say you gotta have it. I mean, if you don't have to work for it, pretty soon you don't appreciate it. If you do hard work in life, you appreciate what you got. Like I did a lot of hard work in my life, and what I got, I enjoy it. School, we had a lot of games, but they're all games that we almost made up ourselves. I mean, nobody had nothing then. If you had a bicycle then, I mean, you were lucky. So we never had nothing. There was always lots of hard work, and you didn't have too much to eat, and you didn't waste nothing either. You know, there's a lot of waste nowadays. We didn't waste nothing. And we used to play games. We had one game, probably 10 people played that, and we made a big circle or ring, and everybody in that circle or ring dug a little hole. Okay? And then everybody had a stick, not a hockey stick, but a regular stick, and you kept that stick in that hole. That was your hole. Circle of about 30 feet around. And right in the middle of that circle, there was a hole there in the middle. And then everybody had a hole, and one person didn't have a hole. And he had to come from the outside, and whatever we had a can or something, you know, you had a hit. And he had to get through that circle and hit that can in that hole. And when he got the can in the hole, everybody had to change holes on the outside, so that he had a chance to grab a hole, and then somebody else had it. And then when you try to get it in there, you know, we live up there right by a big ravine, you know, and before you got in that hole, they'd hit it in the ravine, you had to go down and get that thing. But that's the kind of game we had like that. Then we used to play baseball on the streets, you know. Then later on, when I was in high school, or even a little bit before that, back over here, there's a dam that the mines had years ago for water. And when that would freeze, we used to clean that dam off and skate on there. And every time it snowed, we had to go on and clean it off. There's no roof over it, or there's no one that would come and flood it for you. You had to do all that yourself. And when it got real cold and the ice was that thick, sometimes it cracked and there'd be cracks in there that wide. So. And I used to ski a lot before too. Not like we do nowadays, but we had, when the mines ran over here, there were big rock piles. They were about 300 feet long, and then about 100 some feet down, and we used to go on top there and, ski right down. So that's what we had. Just hunt rabbits and hunt deer. And this is my wife's book right here, I think. In high school, I worked out in the woods. I worked out in the woods, cutting trees down, and that's before they had power saws. You know how you had to cut trees down? You had a saw and you had to go and then saw that tree to get it down, okay? And then once you got it down, you had to knock all the limbs off. And when you got the limbs off, you had to measure out 100 inches long and cut it off, on that tree till you're up to the end of it. And then you had to take and drag them all to a certain place and put them in a pile. And then you had to make a skidding trail so when a horse comes along, and the thing they used to haul them out was a dray. They'd pile them on there and a horse would pull that. And I worked out there for 2 or 3 years, and then Uncle Sam called me in the Army. And then I went in there and I went basic training in Virginia. I was an amphibious truck driver. In other words, they call them a duck. I don't know if you've ever seen them. They go on land or water. They got wheels on. If they go on land, it's like a boat. They can also go on water. So I was trained in that. Then after that, they check when you go into service, everybody goes, they take tests in there and determine what your IQ is and what you were good at. So they thought I was good in clerical, so they sent me to school in Kentucky for a clerk typist. And then after I got done with that, then I got sent overseas, and then I didn't go into amphibious truck driving. I went to be a clerk, so company clerk. So I did that till I got through, and then I got a job in White Pine, and then I worked my way up to a fairly good job, and I worked there steady, and then I retired. And then when I retired, I got on Social Security. Then I got on Medicare. But I can't complain because I'm healthy, but my eyes are, they're getting bad. They are. And without a hearing aid, I'd be, what did you say? I was asked me, how many kids you have? I said, I had, now you have to put things together now when I say that. But I always say I had 3 kids. And they say, well, what were they? I said, I had 1 of each. Can you figure that out? I'm just kidding you. But I had 2 boys and a girl. My daughter in Houghton, Carrie, was the oldest one. And then I got a son downstate. Right now, him and 2 other guys own a company in Midland. So he's been down there for about 20 years. I got another one in Greenland that hauls logs down the Quinnipiac every night. So there was 3 children. So I think my daughter will be, let me see, she was born in '56, so she'll be 60 years old now in December. And then my son is oldest one, William, same name I got, is in his later 50s, and then the one in Greenland he did it in the middle 50s. So they're all, all older generations already. Okay, here's some wedding pictures here. Here's the one I like the best right here. That's when we got married. We had a dance in Okanagan.
Take a picture, if that's okay.
I like that picture there. It tells me almost that we were in love. When you got married, you didn't like nowadays when they get married. At the wedding party, they have about 20 people.
Yeah.
Bridesmaids, and they didn't have it then. You had the best man, and you had I don't know what they call a woman then, the bridesmaid or what. That's all you had. Well, I know one thing, in them days you had to be a hard worker. And my dad also worked in the mines, and he was also in Mass City. He was deputy sheriff for many years. And he had to try to raise 4 girls and a boy in them days. I mean, in the Depression, I mean, it was tough. And then he used to drive school bus there before too. And my mother, she spent all her time home, washing. You know, they never had washing machines then.